What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful fight fans across the world? And in this video, we're gonna be talking about the antibiotics. Okay, they spoke to me. I predicted UFC 309 almost to a T. The main card, almost to a T. The only fight that I got wrong was the Korean Silva fight, and that fight was extremely close. Okay, so put some respect on my name, brother. Okay, Charles Oliveira, a big champion. Okay, we predicted this whole main, and you know what? There might have been a lot of big favorites on this card. Okay, there might have been a lot of big favorites, but still, you gotta give me a little. I'm getting better at this. Okay, UFC 308, I only got like 3 fights wrong, so put some respect on my name. And we only be getting one co-main event wrong, and people come and attack me for everything. But on this UFC 309, I only predicted the main card, and I only got one fight wrong, and it was the Korean Silva fight. Like, who cares? Okay, who cares? I got the fight that we cared about. Right, so let's get straight into it from the top to the bottom. Jon Jones, absolute masterclass against Stipe Miocic. Stipe Miocic didn't look bad. His boxing looked crisp, but Jon Jones' range management, his kicks to the body, it was just too much for Stipe. He was going and attacking the body the whole time. When he got Stipe to the ground in the first round, it was a night and day difference in skill. He was absolutely masterclassing Stipe Miocic on the ground. The elbows he was hitting him with were insane. It was just a great performance by Jon Jones. I know we don't like him, but that performance that happened at UFC 309 showed why he's the GOAT. And he ended it with a back kick, one of the nastiest back kicks you'll ever see, straight to the ribs. It just absolutely crumpled Stipe Miocic against the cage. And that was the fight right there. That was the fight. Stipe Miocic, he retired. He came for the bag. Shout out to Stipe. He didn't look terrible. Okay, he didn't just get ran through. But Jon Jones absolutely dominated that fight. Great performance by Jon Jones. Co-main event, the fight of the night for sure. Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler. It was a more composed fight compared to the first one. They weren't just swinging back and forth. But the first 4 rounds, Charles Oliveira was clipping Michael Chandler and just dominating him on the ground. I did not see this one going 5 rounds though. I didn't call that, but I called the Charles Oliveira win. A lot of people picked Michael Chandler, but I knew Charles Du Bronx Oliveira was going to win. And Charles Oliveira, when he got Michael Chandler to the ground, Michael Chandler had nothing for him. Last time he could get out of those body triangles. This time, no. Wasn't even close. And then in the 5th round, Michael Chandler clipped Charles Oliveira. It was crazy. I thought Charles Oliveira was about to get TKO'd. Michael Chandler hit him with so many back of the head. Let me just say something also. Michael Chandler cheated his ass off in this fight. He cheated so many times in this fight. It was crazy. He was grabbing the cage. He was grabbing the Charles Oliveira's gloves. He cheated so many times in this fight. He was hitting Charles Oliveira to the back of the head. It was crazy. But seeing him almost come back was insane. But then Charles Oliveira, he held on. And at the end of the fight, he had him on his back again. And he stood up, and I called it. I was like, yo, he's going to do the jump. All my friends were here. I called it. And he did the jump twice. He jumped on his back twice, which was dope. Shout out Michael Chandler, though. He brings the exciting fights, even though he cheated a lot. But amazing performance by Charles Oliveira. He's going to go on the title run again, my boys. He's going to go on the title run again. Okay? But that's that. Bo Nickel versus Paul Craig. I did say Bo Nickel was going to win, and I did say it was going to be on the feet, but boring fight. Extremely boring fight, and everybody was saying overrated. The whole crowd was just going overrated because that's the way the performance was looking. It was not looking good. Just Paul Craig, even though Paul Craig didn't look terrible, he was getting clipped by Bo Nickel. The overhands were clipping Paul Craig, and you know, Bo Nickel, like he did win the fight, but just not a very dominant performance. Okay, not what Bo Nickel's actually supposed to do to Paul Craig. I feel like he just should have took Paul Craig down. I know Paul Craig has the dangerous jiu-jitsu, but I feel like he could have got the takedown and dominated Paul Craig on the ground, but I guess not. Okay, but this is the only fight I got wrong in the main card, and it was a close fight. It could have gone to Korean Silva in my eyes, but yeah, who cares? Okay, I don't even want to talk about that fight. It sucked. But Mauricio Rufy versus James Lontop. Oh my God, Mauricio Rufy put on an absolute great performance against James Lontop. A lot of people were saying he underperformed, but James Lontop just had the craziest chin. He was eating the craziest shots from Mauricio Rufy. 90% of men are not eating those shots that James Lontop was getting hit with. And also, let me point something else out. This was at a catch weight. 165. And James Lomtop missed weight by 0.2 pounds. So that extra weight definitely did help his chin. And if they were at 155, he most likely would have got knocked out. But overall, it was just a great performance by Mauricio Rufy. He really does just look like the Brazilian Conor McGregor. He really does just look like that. But it was honestly a great performance by Mauricio Rufy. I'm surprised he didn't get the KO because he was clipping James Lomtop back and forth. But next fight on the card, Marcus McGee versus Jonathan Martinez. So this fight went pretty much how I thought it was going to go. I didn't put in my prediction video, but Jonathan Martinez, all he had was the leg kicks. The leg kicks were landing all night, and he hurt Marcus McGee's legs really bad at one point. I thought he was about to get a leg kick TKO. He didn't go for it, though. But Marcus McGee's boxing, he just had too much power. He was just piecing up Jonathan Martinez. Martinez was just covering up the whole time. So you couldn't give him the win from that because Marcus McGee obviously outdamaged him. But Jonathan Martinez's leg kicks are pretty good. And that was shown in the Jose Aldo fight too. So Jonathan Martinez, I think he might be on a 2-fight losing streak now. But that's the Marcus McGee and Jose Aldo. Those are great fighters. Marcus McGee's an underrated fighter. He's one of the best prospects in the UFC right now. And even though his legs were getting chewed up in that fight, his boxing, his power, you could see why he's one of the best prospects in the UFC. But Jonathan Martinez, I hope he gets a favorable matchup next because he's actually good. I want him to show his skills and I want him to get his get back because I actually like watching him fight. He has great leg kicks. And, that's about it. But Eric Anders versus Chris Weidman. So this one got canceled because Eric Anders was injured. Damon Jackson out here losing to Jim Miller in 2024. What are we doing, Damon Jackson? You retired after that. You got to retire after that. He didn't even do a post-fight speech because he was so embarrassed by his performance. But it makes sense because I would be embarrassed too if I lost to Jim Miller like that. Okay? He got guillotined in the first round in 3 minutes. It was kind of bad. And James Miller was doing better on the feet than him. So, yeah. Oh, David Onama versus Roberto Romero. This was actually the fight of the night, in my opinion. This was it wasn't the fight of the night. Sorry, I take that back. But it was a great fight. David Onama versus Roberto Romero. At first, Roberto Romero hurt David Onama so bad, but then after that, David Onama just took over. He was clipping Roberto Romero back and forth. But I didn't catch most of the early prelims, so I'm just gonna go through these ones quickly. Marcin Tybura versus Renato Diniz. This one ended to doctor stoppage. I saw some nasty elbows on the ground. Good win by Marcin Tybura. I definitely thought he could win this fight, but I thought Renato Diniz would get a KO, but I guess not. I guess Marcin Tybura, his ground game was too good, and I knew his ground game would be good for Renato Diniz because once Renato Diniz gets on his back, he's cooked, man. He's cooked. But Mickey Gall versus Ramiz Brahimaj, insane knockout. I think that was the best knockout of the night. I don't know. The next one was good too. Oban Elliott versus Basil Hafez, both great knockouts. Great performances by both of them. Wales and United States. Shout out both of them. And Veronica Hardy versus Edwin Mora. I didn't see this one, but I guess Edwin Mora won. But overall, UFC 309, the prelims were pretty good. And even though there was a lot of decisions on the main card, it was a pretty good main card. Actually, no. The main card was a little weak. The Mauricio Rufy one was decent. The Kareem Silva one, not a good fight. Bo Nickel versus Paul Craig was not fun. Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler was fun. And John Jones versus Stipe Miocic was fun. So overall, not bad. Not a bad night. And I'll have to give this card an Insomnia score of, we'll say, 6.9. Okay, for John Jones, because we know he likes that. But that's it. Actually, no, 6.9 is a little low. We'll give this card a solid 7.9. 7.9. Yeah, it's not an 8, but it's not a 7. Okay, no, 7.5, sorry, 7.5. That's an Insomnia score, but that's it for this video. Let me know if you guys enjoyed UFC 309 down below. You got to give me my props, okay? I pretty much predicted that main card fully, except for the Kareem Silva fight, but who cares about that, my boys? I said that one is not the lock, so don't take that one into account, but all the other fights, I predicted them, even though they're like minus 600 favorites too, though. But people were picking Michael Chandler. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. But that's it for this video. And I'll see you, beautiful people, in the next one, man.